gonna do when the well runs dry, babe? What you gonna do when the well runs dry? Sit on bank, watch your crawdads die, honey, baby mine. Yeah, you get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down to the crawdad hole, honey, baby mine. Well, yonder comes the fella with the pack on the back, honey. Yonder comes the fella with the pack on his back, babe. Yonder comes the fella with a pack on his back, packing all the crawdads he can't sack, honey, baby mine. Well, you get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line and I'll get a pole. Go down to the crawdad hole, honey, baby mine. You get a line, I'll get a pole. Gonna get 'em on down to Bass Pro, honey, baby mine. Well, headed down south to the land of the pine, thumbing my way to North Carolina, staring down the road and praying to God I see headlights. Made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet dogwood flower, hoping for Raleigh, gonna see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, anyway. There's Sherry. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah, rock me, mama, like a wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah, running from the cold up in New England, born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. Baby plays a guitar, I pick a banjo now. North Country winters are getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, but I had to leave town. Ain't looking back, I'm living this old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me, mama, wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah, walking to the south out of Roanoke, caught a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long toque. He's headed west from a Cumberland Gap, Johnson City, Tennessee. I gotta get a move on before the sun. Baby calling my name, no, she's the only one. If I die in Raleigh, I'll die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. If I can make a living walking in the woods, every day you know I would. Sitting on a hillside staring down a field downwind. If I can make a living with them bass, never worry about the price of gas, I'd be willing and dealing, I'd be reeling them in. I'd be hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's a prayer that a country boy prays. I thank God he made me this way. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'd be dirt road rich, Flint River paid. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. I'd be hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's a prayer that a country boy prays. I thank God he made me this way. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'd be dirt road rich, Flint River paid. Hunting and fishing, loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'd be dirt road rich, Flint River paid. Hunting and fishing, loving every day. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go, me oh my oh. Me got to go Puerto Pedro on the bayou. My phone, sweetest one, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, I had big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. For tonight, I'm gonna see Mama shed me oh. Big guitar, big fruit jar, and the gale. Son of a gun, had big fun on the bayou. Well, Thibodeau and the phone know the place is buzzing. Folks come to see him on now by the dozen. Dress in style, go hog wild, me oh my oh. Yeah, son of a gun, I have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. For tonight, I'm gonna see Mama shed me oh. Big guitar, fill fruit jar, and big gale. Yeah, son of a gun, big fun on the bayou. Yeah, son of a gun, I had big fun on the bayou. Well, this old highway's getting longer. It seems there ain't no end in sight. Sleep would be best. I can't afford the rest. Got a ride in Denver tomorrow night. Well, I called the house, but no one answered. For the past few weeks, no one's been home. Guess she's through with me. Tell the truth, I just can't see what's kept that woman holding on this long. And the white line's getting longer, and the saddle's getting colder. I'm much too young to feel this damn road. All my cards are on the table, no waste left in the hole. I'm much too young to feel this damned old. Well, the competition's getting younger, tougher broncs, well, you know I can't recall. A worn out tape of Chris the Duke, lonely women and bad booze seem to be the only friends I've left at all. And the white line's getting longer, and the saddle's getting colder. I'm much too young to feel this damned old. And all my cards are on the table with no ace left in the hole. I'm much too young to feel this damned old. I'm much too young to feel this damned old.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round for Clay's self. Thank you, Clay. It was nice entertainment for the evening. Folks, the folks at Wonders of Wildlife, who obviously do our dinner this evening, have given me the okay to say, everybody please sit down. They're ready to serve dinner. And I know there's a bunch of people in this room that are hungry. So if we get everybody mosey into their seats so we can get going. So thank you very much. Steve Bowman, could we get you up front? There you are.
All right, folks. We're going to get this dinner started, and I'm going to ask that everybody kind of quieten down a little bit. Find a seat, put your butt in it. I like that. We have some wonderful people in this room. Some people in this room that I dearly love, and this is the greatest room to me in America, but it is certainly the greatest room in bass fishing, and maybe the greatest room in bass fishing ever. Love you, folks. I'm going to ask you, we're fixing to start dinner, and then soon after we'll start our program, but before we do, we're going to thank God for the blessings. I'm going to ask you to bow your head and let me pray over this food, okay? So if everybody will just bow your head. And dear Heavenly Father, our sincere prayer goes out to you with praise for what you have created in this great country. A place where men and women of every age can see your face in nature and take part in gathering of the beast and the fowl of this earth for a feast that has you as its main guest. Let our focus be on you, Lord, and the incredible talent you have given these men that we honor. And let us not forget the blessings you have given us for getting to watch the culmination of that talent and passion come together. We come to you in prayer this evening with a chorus of things we are grateful for the things you have provided. We thank you when the sun breaks over this horizon, spilling out an array of colors, and as your light shines on everything, glistening on the water like you've cast a carpet of diamonds right in front of us. We thank you when we hear you, Lord, in the wind rustling the leaves and the singing and the chirping of the birds and the lapping of the water on the shore and a perfect symphony of your grace. We thank you for the privilege to hunt and fish and witness your perfect creation like no other. We thank you for our wealth of blessings, including the tap and tug on a line from a green fish that travels through a fishing line and produces a tap and tug in our hearts. Lord, we thank you for the laughter it creates in our children, the excitement it stirs in all of us, and the lesson that fishing gives all of us. We thank you for the men and women in this room have done so much with their passion for catching fish that it has created a sport like no other, and for the privilege of honoring their legacy tonight. We thank you for this opportunity to celebrate those things with family and friends, and we thank you for the freedom to pray these words without fear, in any language, and a faith that knows you sent your Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins in this great country, whose landscape is as vast and beautiful as its inhabitants. We end this prayer as we have in virtually every Hall of Fame banquet with a prayer penned by Homer Circle, one of our illustrious inductees. And it goes, God grant that I may fish until my dying day, and when at last I come to rest, I'll then most humbly pray. When in his landing net I lie in final sleep, that in his mercy I'll be judged as good enough to keep. Thank you, God, for all these things, but mostly for the grace and assurance through Christ that we are all good enough to keep. We ask you bless this food in Jesus' name. Amen.
I hope everyone's enjoying their meal. While you're eating, I'm just going to say a few words about what the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame does besides celebrating and honoring the legends of the sport, which is what we're doing tonight. As you know, over the past few years, really since 2017, since the hall was able to open up its own venue within Johnny Morris's Wonders of Wildlife Museum and Aquarium, our organization has grown pretty well. We're getting a lot of support from the industry. The awareness that we're bringing to our inductees, which is really a key, that has risen tremendously. And that's because of the support that we get from pro anglers, fishing industry companies, individuals across the U.S. that are supporting the cause. One of the things that we do with some of our fundraising money, along with obviously producing and hosting an event like this tonight and what we did downstairs and some of the other things that we do over the Celebrate Bass Fishing Week. In 2024, working with Gene Gilliland, who's the chair of our Conservation Committee, we awarded $40,000 in grants to organizations across the United States, from New Mexico to Virginia to Alabama to Wisconsin to Pennsylvania. And that is helping with various habitat improvement projects and basically fishery management projects. So we're the organization that is now allowed to help fund part of that. As someone that's been in the fishing industry basically for my entire career, sure, we get a lot of folks that, hey, we want to do this, we want to do this. We are somewhat becoming the organization that they can turn to. And while we don't personally are the boots on the ground, we're the organization that has the ability to write a check. So when, let's say, a bass fishing club here in Missouri wants to do an enhancement program, they have the boots on the ground. They might not have the forklift that's needed, the habitat rocks and the mossback habitat structures that they're putting in. So we're able to provide a little bit of that funding. So that is a key. That's all part of preserving, as you see with our logo. Where's our logo up there? But you know, we celebrate our inductees tonight. We promote the sport and we preserve the sport. So that is one of the keys. One of the other things I know in the room, I have not found him yet. Obviously, this is a bigger crowd, I think, than we even expected. But also in the past 3-4 months, we instituted a scholarship program. Again, that's chaired by Gene Gilliland, who's our committee chair for our conservation group, along with some of others. We provided, and I'm not exactly sure of the figure right off the top of my head, but I think it's somewhere around $22,000 in college scholarships to 10 students across the U.S., including a couple kids here in the state of Missouri, a young guy over at Drury University who was planning on being with us this evening, but it ended up being a fishing tournament down at Sam Rayburn. So he called me up. He said, "Mr. Mazurka, is it okay if I miss the dinner? But if I do, will you invite me back next year?" So I said, "Yeah, no problem." So one of the things that does, and for many of us that are in the industry and do some governmental affairs type projects, what we're finding out and especially in the freshwater states, the DNR staff in those states, we want those people to be anglers and hunters. And what we're finding is the new people that are coming into those positions might not have the same views that we have on fishing and hunting. So part of our scholarship program is to identify students and even grad students that are, number one of the requirements is they have to be a member of either BASS, Major League Fishing, and they also have to provide us with a copy of their fishing license. So we're going to make sure that the money that the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame is raising from many people in this room are going to those type of individuals. So that has been very successful the past couple of years. So thank you. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that along with what we do with the WOW staff in our venue downstairs, and hopefully y'all had a chance to see that. I've been around since day one, since 2017 down there. The expansions that we've done this year, obviously courtesy of Johnny Morris, a Hall of Fame inductee, and he opened up that room, gave us sort of a free hand to come in there and do some things. So there was a substantial chunk of Bass Fishing Hall of Fame money spent down there, and I tell you, it was very well spent. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. And with that, that's it. I'm done for the night. I'm allowed now to go have one drink. And but I will be up here after dinner to introduce our MC of the night, and hopefully y'all have a great rest of your evening. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with you again, as much as I did want to go back there and have a drink. We are going to get our evening going. It is going to be a fun night. I'm looking forward to it very much. I know you all will also. There's a person that when we asked him, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, if he would take on a chore, and that was basically to MC our evening. I come up here, I make some announcements and ask you for some money and all that. That's what my role is for the board. But it is my absolute pleasure for, I believe now, the 4 out of the past 5 years. He missed COVID year, as did many of us. But I'd like to bring up our MC for the evening, Dave Mercer. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the 2024 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame induction ceremony. What an incredible room, and it is my absolute honor to stand up here and celebrate the greatest sport on earth, bass fishing. If you love bass fishing, make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. What an induction class we have this year. Tonight, we recognize an early innovator, a trailblazer, a production visionary, a man that makes pictures brighter with his words, and simply one of the greatest competitors in bass fishing history. 5 inductees going in tonight, and they will join, as Matt Pangarak pointed. Let's hear from Matt Pangarak, by the way. Great job he did downstairs. They will join 95 others that are in this incredible class, and I'll be honest, I MC the Bassmaster Classic. I'm never nervous. This night, I'm nervous. I'm almost as nervous as Skeet Reese is right now, ladies and gentlemen. I doubt it. Yeah, you're probably right. Because this room is, it's a room full of legends and amazing people that are in this room. The people that many of us grew up watching, the people that many of us have inspired to be. And one of the greatest things that I'm seeing happen with this event, at one time, it was just people in the industry. I ran into many people at the Hall of Fame today that are here as fans of this sport, supporters of this sport, making this event. And I believe tonight is our biggest induction night we've ever had. So let's hear it for all of them. I said there's 95 other inductees that have been here in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and many of them are joining us in this room. And I don't think we can go any further without honoring all of them. Of course, they stand out in their incredible blue jackets, but I'd like to ask every member of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame to stand up right now and get recognized. Incredible builders, promoters, creators of this sport that we all love. And I thank you all for everything you've done. But I'd like to honor one very special group that doesn't get honored a lot. Because every inductee will tell you, while they were out winning tournaments, producing events, while they were out doing what they did to get them in this Hall of Fame, one of their greatest regrets is all the birthdays they missed, all the celebrations they missed. And I would like to ask, if you're a family member or a friend that was invited here on behalf of one of our inductees, stand up and let's recognize the amazing families that gave so much to build this sport. So on behalf of all the deadbeats that are in the Hall of Fame, we're sorry. We're sorry we missed everything, literally. But you look around this room, it's amazing. I saw Basil Bacon, Bob Cobb, Larry Nixon, the who's who of bass fishing is here. I even saw Hank Parker. Hank Parker had a scary accident just a week ago. He fell out of a tree stand and was airlifted to the hospital. But thank God he is doing well, so well, in fact, that he is here this evening. Let's hear it for Hank Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, Hank is doing fine. He's a pro angler, and word on the street is he spent his recovery time negotiating a lucrative deal with a harness company, so things will be fine for Hank. So many great anglers in this room. Of course, the great Kevin Van Dam, who retired for competition last year, just weeks ago, was inducted into the IGFA Hall of Fame. Let's hear it for him. And a guy that really looks at Kevin and says, why'd you quit so quick? 78 years old, Rick Clunn completed his 50th season of competition. I'm not going to say anything about Rick Clunn because I'm scared of him, to be honest. Tonight's inductees, one of tonight's inductees, my very dear friend, Mark Zona. We got any Zona fans in the house? It's a big year for the Zonas. Not only is he getting inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, but his beloved Chicago Bears had the #1 pick in the NFL draft. They can see your fingers, E. And they picked Caleb Williams. Zona and Caleb have a lot in common. I mean, both people that came into their respective sports with a lot of hype around them. The only difference is Z actually delivered, ladies and gentlemen. It's only week 3, Z. I'm sure they'll be good. Fishing unites so many people, and this room proves it year after year. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from, male, female, doesn't matter race, nothing matters in fishing. It unites fish. You meet an angler, whether it's at a Christmas party or whatever, you meet somebody that fishes, and you're connected to them. You just trust them. Unless, of course, one's using forward-facing sonar and the other isn't. Totally different. Those sons of... The Bass Fishing Hall of Fame gets bigger and bigger every year. It is truly amazing. But the reason that it gets bigger is because we now have a home. And not just any home, a home right here at the Wonders of Wildlife. What an incredible facility. And there's only one reason that we are here in this incredible home. And that is simply because of one man. And he is straight up the greatest conservationist of our lifetime. Let me hear it for Mr. Johnny Morris, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Dave. Thank you, buddy. It's a happy night. Like, Dave, you stole one of my lines. Like, does anybody here like to fish? Yes, we love to fish. And why is everybody here? It's not because of me, because of you. It's because the guy upstairs. I was so just full of feeling blessed to be downstairs and look at the pictures, the scrapbooks, the memories, how blessed we've all been to spend a good part of our lives around the great sport of fishing. And we would not be here, too, without the pioneer character, Ray Scott, and bless Ray. And we wouldn't be here for another thing. One other big factor is conservation. And to me, I'm grateful. My whole life growing up here in the Ozarks, back in 1970, I entered this fishing tournament. My dad and I had an old Richland aluminum boat, and I saw my first Ranger and first Skeeter, all these boats, when I went down there. And I met lifelong friends, like many of us in this room. And Dave mentioned not just fishing legends, but friends in life, and Bill Dance and Jimmy and Basil, on and on. So many people here, Stacy. But anyway, I came across fishing is a happy thing. And I want to share a couple little movies. This one just came to me just a couple of days ago. Maybe you've seen it going around the internet.
On the Colorado, okay?
We're headed down to the fishing hole. And I don't care if we ever come back.
Oh, no, we lost him.
That was fishing with Dad. I don't care if we ever come back.
hit the clutch, son, and throw it in gear, and check the boat in that rear view mirror. I bought some drinks and loaded our poles. We're headed down to the fishing hole, and I don't care if we ever come back. And I was fishing with Dad.
Fishing makes people happy. So a couple other little a film clip I got to share, two more actually. But one thing I was saying, like, we all know fishermen and politicians, they have a couple of things in common. Sometimes we get carried away, right? You got to be enthusiastic. So that sets up my grandson. His nickname's Catfish. I love this little boy. He is totally eat up with fishing. I mean, day and night.
How big was the fish?
Huge.
Huge?
Yeah.
No way. Show me. Where was it?
What? The fish was?
Yeah.
Point. Where's the fish? Right there.
Huge.
That boy loves his fishing. So he won't go to sleep at night without his fishing pole. And he's got a little stuffed fish, and his parents say, seriously, he has trouble getting to sleep. So his mom sent me a picture of a movie of his dad trying to get him to sleep the other night. I think Jimmy Houston's still this way.
It's time to go night-night.
Night-night. Catch a fish.
Catch a fish.
We gotta go night-night.
Fish? No.
You wanna go night-night?
Yes. Fish.
It's night-night time.
Fishy.
You can put your fishing pole night-night.
Fishing.
I know you wanna go fishing. We'll go fishing soon, okay?
No.
Anyway, I thank all the members of the Hall of Fame and how they inspire, even more than you think, more than you realize, through your actions in life, your passion for fishing, how that's contagious to future generations. And this evening too, we have this wolf school. It's for kids to learn about conservation here. And I want to give them a shout out tonight and their instructors. And like we mentioned earlier, Ray Scott, thank you, Ray, for your dream and for sharing it. And the Anderson family, to carry on this tradition as investors that look for the long term, but investors to share our passion. And we just thank you for having a long-term view of the sport we love. And I was downstairs. It was emotional, just like scrapbook of life, a very happy life. I saw a picture of a dear friend that's no longer with us, but he's smiling down. That's Billy Westmoreland. And Billy risked his life one time in a fishing tournament over here on Beaver Lake to save my life and my partner's life, Robert Craddock. And I won't get into all that, but it was just, we'd been in the water for some time. Jimmy Houston's boat flipped over in that tournament. It was before upright level flotation. Anyway, it's like an answered prayer. Anyway, I just downstairs to pass on where we've come from, and there's exciting things I just wanted to share. The growth in our sport, fishing in general, bass fishing, a lot of people coming in, and especially people from all walks of life, and young people and gals. I mean, 21 million female anglers, 41% of all first-time anglers are gals. And that reminded me when I saw the statistics a couple of days ago of my mom. And this is my mom. This is before they outlawed noodling over here on the Sauk River. My grandpa went down and noodled this big catfish after two of my uncles pretty much came close to being not making it out from this catfish. And there's this picture, it's my mom with a stringer of bass from over on Bull Shoals many years ago. And my dad always said, Mom was the luckiest fisherman in the family. That was his side of the story. I think maybe she was the best. Anyway, the new Hall of Fame, we're excited about it. We appreciate everybody that's here, the donations, the support to go, to carry on, to celebrate our heritage where we have opportunity to go. Unique thing about this, I just wanted to share, the new routing, it funnels every visitor to Wonders of Wildlife goes through this facility now where it used to be like a side attraction. And this, we're getting we get a lot of people here. And the main message is sportsmen and women are the true conservationists in our country. And there's very positive trends in the attendance and people to come to share the history of the sport that we love, bass fishing. And this weekend, I don't want to carry on this too much, but it's National Fishing and Hunting Day. Will be headquartered right out of here, and the other people that will come from this. And then too, it was mentioned, I think, Steve mentioned this about fishing, or maybe it was Dave, but it was mentioned earlier, like fishing attracts people from all walks of life, both sides of the aisle. It's a uniter, like conservation's uniter. President Carter's birthday is coming up here real soon. And one of his favorite quotes, things he's passionate about conservation and fishing. And I love this quote. I wanted to share it with everybody. Many of the most highly publicized events of my presidency are not nearly as memorable or significant in my life as fishing with my daddy. And it's just a beautiful thing, and it's true in life. And actually, I received a call from President Carter's grandson, Jason, today, and he wanted me to tell you that his grandpa is still he's having happy days, and he wanted me to share to everybody here, congratulations on a happy night at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. So, and I just salute everybody being inducted. I know your family's got to be very proud. There's a special recognition tonight, and I don't know the exact protocol, but I do know there was a legend in our sport, Ray Murski. And I think from here, you're going to speak some, Dave or Steve? It's one of the main things that I was excited to be here about this, what's going to happen.
So, thank you, Johnny. I mean, you don't have to listen to Johnny very long to understand where his heart is, right, and his passion. So, we have a former Hall of Famer, titan in this industry. He probably had a profound effect on your life and your business. His name is Ray Murski. A lot of you don't know Ray Murski, but everybody in this room who knows Ray Murski knows Ray Murski. Mandy Murski and Chase Anderson, will y'all go ahead and start coming this way? There you go. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mercer. There's several people in this room that I play fantasy football with. And my team is named Buck. And you ain't lived until Ray Murski calls you Buck. He called everybody Buck. Hey, what? What's going on, Buck? Everybody knows who knew Ray Murski that Buck was his favorite term of endearment. So a few years ago, it's been actually quite a few years ago, it may have been 15, 20, 19, or whenever we inducted Ray Murski. And the year before, and that year and the year after, we have titans in this sport. We have Johnny Morris on the stage. We all know who Ray Scott is. We all know who Jerry McKinnis is. We all know who Bob Cobb is. But the person who, and I've been doing this a long time, the person who gets more thanks from the likes of Jimmy Houston and Kristen Houston, who is here tonight, just incredible. They thank Ray Murski for the impact. So Ray Murski signified the heart of our industry for decades. He was the heart and soul. He may have not have created the fastest boat. He may have not have created, he did have a lot to do with platform fishing and trolling motors and everything else. But the reality of it is he put the heart and soul in. He cared about the sport and he cared about the people. And more people have been inducted into this Hall of Fame that have given thanks to Ray Murski than anyone else. And unless you knew Ray Murski, you don't understand that. But we created a Ray Murski Lifetime Achievement Award because Ray Murski signified the heart and soul of bass fishing for a long time. And if you win this award, or if you're given this award, you signify the heart and soul of bass fishing. So y'all can keep guessing who that might be. But Johnny, you may have a story about this recipient that you want to pass on, or you want me to tell it?
Both chip in.
Come on.
It's not so much a story as just, well, there is one story. But what amazing fella. He caught a fish or two, and then a few more than most of us. Legendary angler, but a great guy. And I heard this story fairly recently about him. And you hear this term like coming from humble beginnings or sacrificing everything for your goals, your passions you have in life. And I got to stop and say thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being beside me and our family. Love you, dear. So this fella, he gives up pretty much everything. He reminds me of this country music singer, Chris Janson. And Chris Janson, if you don't know this story, to pursue his career in music, he goes to Nashville. He didn't have any money. He lives out of the back of he lives in his car for a year and a half. And then it paid off for him. But it was his passion and hard work and commitment to what he wanted to pursue in his life. And I heard this story about who we're going to honor now. He quits a good job, a great job. Guess who this might be? Yeah. And he...
Go back. There we go.
No... Okay, how did we do this?
There you go. Do you use forward-facing sonar?
I can't talk bad about
I know
forward-facing
it.
sonar.
Let me see if I can figure out how to get that. Anybody know how to play the play button? That's what oh, there it is. So keep talking.
Okay. Rick Clunn, he leaves his job for his passion to become a professional bass fisherman. He makes it to the Bassmaster Classic. He qualifies. So then we get to meet in New Orleans. Ray Scott, you know all this story, charters a big jet. All the top 50 outdoor riders are press, and the top 24 or so anglers at the time, they get on this aircraft. The only problem is Rick has to get from home to New Orleans. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money to get to New Orleans. He goes to a pawn shop, and one of his most prized possessions is a Remington
Browning.
a Browning 270.
B-A-R.
It's a Browning 270. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, he takes it to the pawn shop, gets the money, makes it to the Classic. Guess what? He wins the Bassmaster Classic. He takes his money, can't wait to get back home and go to the pawn shop to reclaim his prize firearm. Problem is, he gets back there, the gun's been sold. And anyway, Rick, what you mean to a sport of fishing, it's unbelievable. Not just your skill, but your passion, your influence.
Come on up, Rick.
Your sayings about never give up. I mean, like there's more fun times ahead. And that you choose to live right here in the Ozarks, Betty, it makes us very proud to be your neighbor. And we're grateful to you.
Thank you all. Really, the Achievement Award it's one I truly do not deserve. I know, don't say, but I've been through this. Everything you're saying is true about, you know, I knew he was up to something and my wife was up to something, but I had no idea what it was. And I have to, the first time I ever saw Ray Murski was fishing a tournament on Lake Somerville in Texas. And he was the only guy that had a deck on the front of his boat and a butt seat up front with a troll motor. And I was in full contact with him, on and off all through my career. And I say I don't deserve this because I really don't. Ray, Johnny, and there's so many other people in this room. I did what I did out of selfish reasons. Really, most successful people, I think, somewhat have to do that. They have to put everything in their being, their passion, their commitment into it. And everybody around them has to sacrifice. And that was kind of, the way I think most successful people are, not just necessarily anglers. But very few times do we have the time to reflect on all those people and what they give to us. And, Ray was one of those people. Johnny's certainly one of those people when it comes to conservation. I know many people that you will never know that have given so much to this sport in an unselfish way. There was a guy named Ed Parton in Texas that did everything he could for the Texas Association of Bass Clubs and for conservation. I don't want to go through all of those, but at the same time, one of the most common questions I'm asked is, I was passionate about what I did. I was second year into it, I was totally broke. You could check every box inside these success versus failure, and all of mine were failure. And yet all of a sudden, and I realized I liked myself more than I'd ever liked myself in my whole life, even though by every other body's standards, I was a failure. And so there's something to commitment and passion that I can't totally explain. I'm often asked by parents, can my son make it? And I have known their son for a while, and they're good anglers. We have so much of that now with the college and the high school anglers. That you saw the numbers up there a while ago that are coming into the sport, and a lot of them are girls. And I said, I can't tell you if they'll make it unless I ask you one question. And they said, okay. I said, have they hit rock bottom yet? I said, because passion, when everything's coming your way, it's easy to hold on to. But if they do not have that passion when they hit rock bottom, then they probably won't make it. If that passion is still there, they'll make it. They'll figure out a way to make it work. So, again, I hope I can make up for this achievement award that y'all are honoring me with. And I don't know if I even know how to use this anymore. But my wife is a great shot, and she'll figure it out. One last thing. There's one angler that I have fished with in my career that is by far the best angler I've ever fished with, and she's here, and that's Chris Houston. Thank you for coming, Chris. I appreciate it.
Let's hear it again for the heart and soul of our bass fishing sport. And then, Mandy, would you like to?
I just want to say congratulations, Rick, a true icon. Thank you for everything you've done for the fishing industry and for the fishing sport, and we appreciate you. And I know Ray would be so honored that you accepted this award tonight.
I hope so, because I know he told me and Kevin more than once we need to do our part.
That's right. And you've done it. Thank you so much.
Chase. Come on. Chase Anderson, owner and operator of Bassmaster.
Thank you, Steve. Chase Anderson, CEO of Bass. And Ray, just on behalf of Bass, a genuine thank you and your passion that led to fishing 505 bass events, 50-year career that they completed this year, and 26 consecutive Bassmaster Classics, 4-time Classic champion, 1-time AOI champion. Rick, unbelievable. Your passion is incredible. And just wanted to thank you so much on behalf of Bass and the sport of bass fishing. I'm also excited to say that we at Bass are creating a new award, which is the Rick Clunn Man of the Year Award. It'll be awarded to an Elite Series angler that exhibits excellence on and off the water, giving back to one's community, and for character, and just being an outstanding citizen. So, Rick, that's a new award, and you are the first recipient of the Rick Clunn Man of the Year Award. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just when I thought Rick Clunn couldn't get any more intimidating, you put a gun over his shoulder. Look at him in that hat. He could kick Indiana Jones' ass right now today. Are you guys ready to start our induction ceremony? I didn't need these when I first started this job, so I blame this on the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. But I'd like to start with our first inductee. Anyone who has ever caught a bass on a spinnerbait, buzzbait, or skirted jig owes a special thanks to Fred Arbogast. Back in 1934, the native of Akron, Ohio, was looking for an alternative to the labor-intensive feather and hair dressing of his bass baits. Having worked for Goodyear Tire and B.F. Goodrich since high school, he hit upon the idea of a rubber skirt for lures. He called his creation the hula skirt. He used it on his bait, the Hawaiian Wiggler, a precursor to the buzzbait. As well as lures, he called the hula popper, the hula dancer. His design led to the use of rubber and other materials to make pliable skirts for a multitude of lures that are still popular today. By the time of his sudden passing in 1947, at the age of 53, Arbogast had designed nearly a dozen deadly bass baits, including another perennial favorite, the jitterbug. Arbogast's contributions to fishing extended beyond lure design and manufacturing. He won his first distance casting competition at age 22. And within a few years, he'd begin to dominate national casting competitions. He held world casting records in both accuracy and distance categories, earning at least 8 national championships. In 1925, he hurled a half-ounce weight 293 feet, just shy of the length of a football field. He was a tireless educator and promoter of bass fishing. He was also a dedicated conservationist. As a leading member of the Isaac Walton League, Arbogast campaigned to curtail water pollution and to protect fisheries from overharvest. Arbogast Lure Company continues to thrive today under the ownership of Pradco Outdoor Brands. Our first inductee to the 2024 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, Fred Arbogast. I'd like to welcome, with a very special presentation from Pradco, Bruce Stanton.
Thank you, Dave. My wife's probably wondering why Ann's wondering why I got a broom up here, because I never use one. Fred Arbogast, unfortunately, he's not here. He died in 1947 at a skating rink in Akron, Ohio. Had an accident and died. At that time, he had over 200 people at Arbogast Lure Company working for him. Sales were $1 million in 1947. So it was a big lure company back at that time. But Fred designed his first hard bait, jitterbug, with a broom. He took the end of the broomstick and he put the 2 spoons on the end of it. His wife wasn't real happy with him. But that was the first jitterbug. And it's still in 2,250 Walmart stores. Bill Dance, our great Hall of Famer, caught his first bass on a jitterbug. If you go to Bass Pro Shops Base Camp to see Johnny Morris or my good friend Steve Miller or Will Billiter, you can see a picture of a man catching a bass. And over that tracker boat, there's a frog-colored hula popper hanging there. And I always look up there because when I go to sell them something, I want to make sure that hula popper's still there. If it's not there, I probably need to leave. But I'd like to ask my good friend Kevin Van Dam and Bill Dance to come up here. I'd like two of my vice presidents, Heather Chaffin and Chad Warner, to come up here. We did something special with the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. We had a special jitterbug edition of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame lure. Kevin Van Dam, even though he works for Strike King, Rather Outdoors, volunteered to put his name on it, which is huge. Bass Fishing Hall of Fame brings people together. And his bosses, Rocky Calso and Ken Eubanks, they got caught up in the hurricane. They couldn't be here. But they approved this and wanted to do it. So a special thanks to Kevin and Rather Outdoors, Bill Dance, Jason Christie for letting us use their name. There's still a few left on lurenet.com. We've got some at the auction table out here if you want to buy some. Kevin and Bill's names are on it. So John Mazurkowicz, would you please come up here? We're going to give you a check for $12,000 to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Here's to Fred Arbogast. I want to join everybody else in thanking Chris Houston for being here. I caught my biggest crappie ever with Chris, so we love you, Chris. So glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. I gotta be honest, I thought that broom was to get me out of here. Our next inductee, Mike McKinnis, son of bass fishing icon Jerry McKinnis, forged his own path beyond his father's legacy. His pivotal role in live streaming the 2015 Bassmaster Classic marked a major turning point in how fans consume tournament fishing, evolving into what it is today, full live coverage of all Bassmaster events on Fox Sports Network. Since joining JM Associates in 1990, McKinnis revolutionized fishing content consumption, partnering with ESPN to launch the coverage of the FLW Tour in 1996. Post ESPN's acquisition of Bass, in 2000, McKinnis spearheaded all Bassmaster programming on ESPN. In addition to leading production on Bassmaster for over 24 years, McKinnis's contributions extend to other areas of fishing, making proclaimed show the greatest saltwater show in the history of saltwater fishing, if you ask me, The Spanish Fly, which earned numerous Telly Awards and Emmy nominations. Please welcome Mike McKinnis to the 2024 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. As Mike wakes his way up here, I'd like to welcome Steve Bowman, who will present his plaque.
Thank you, friend. He just told me not to F this up. And I've got a picture of Rick Clunn staring at me here. That's pipe down, Zona. You're next. Thank you, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Let me try to be quick here. I got 3 minutes. Thank you to my family, Pamela, Damon, Elena. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for always being there. Thank you, Shannon, my sister, for being here. And now let me get through the list of the shoulders that I've been standing on for all these years. Here we go. Paul Bean, Kevin Witherspoon, Bruce Cash, Julius Morgan, Ronnie Moore, Mike Sukon, Wes Miller, Kerry Barrett, Mike Breedlove, Michael Middleton, J.P. Bodiak, David Lipke. Now let me stop there for just a second to single somebody out. I could single out Middleton, who's done hours and hours of Zona's Awesome Fishing Show and the Bassmaster Live and made us look great. Or I could single out J.P. Bodiak, who reminded us who we are and where we came from with his Dream Big campaign that he created all by himself in his dark room, in his edit room for a few days, and nobody knew what he was doing in there. But I'm going to single out David Lipke. David Lipke right here has been producing and editing bass fishing content for 24 years. And if you've seen some highlight footage of bass anglers over the last 24 years and it made you want to get up and go fishing, there's a 95% chance that guy cut the footage. I'm standing up here and getting this honor, but him and all these people that I'm talking about are the reason. I call David Lipke a machine. He is there every day. He sits in his room and he does nothing but try to make bass anglers stars. That's our job, is to make bass fishing tournament anglers stars. And he's the best at it in the world. Bowman put him on the list for your Broadcast Technology Hall of Fame section that's coming to the hall soon. I nominate him. Rick Mason, Tim Schick, Jose Wahebe. Steve Bowman, David Healy, Brian Mason. Howard Downs. I'm going to pause here again. Now, why would I pause for the engineer in charge in our building? Where is Howard? I haven't seen you yet, Howard. Howard Downs. So, we started doing live, in 2015 at the Bassmaster Classic. And through those years, I always got a chuckle because there were other websites and lesser leagues and different people saying they invented Bassmaster Live. Well, first of all, Verizon and AT&T and Teradek and LiveView, they invented live. We tapped into it. And when I say we, I mean Howard Downs. Howard Downs, for probably 10 years, fought to get us live on television. He fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil. And he got us on live. He is absolutely the reason we got there first, and he's still there every time we go live. Today, he makes sure that the switch flips on and we present the way we're supposed to present. Howard Downs is number 2 on my nomination, Bowman. Moving on. How long have I been? Have I been 3 minutes yet? George Bodenheimer, Don Logan, Jim Copeland, Bruce Aiken, and Chase Anderson. I have been fortunate to be in rooms with those people who were at the time the head of the table of bass, BASS. And incredible people. How I was in that room all of those times is beyond me, but I was. They're incredible people. They allowed me to contribute. And they all had something special in common, and that is they cared most about the integrity of the sport and the legacy of the sport and the future of the sport. They all have that in common in an incredible way. And none more than Chase Anderson. Chase, you got a tough time right now with with the world of bass fishing, but I think you're killing it. I stand beside you on everything that you're doing. And again, as Johnny Morris said, Chase and his family are in this for the long haul, and they want to do it right. It's not easy, but they'll always get there because they have the right heart. All right, just a few more here. And if it wasn't for these last 5, I would definitely not be up here, and there would be several of us that wouldn't even be in this business. Dave Mercer. You still close, Dave? Dave is just an absolute beast with being the face at the Bassmaster Classic in every elite weigh-in. He knows every single thing about every single angler and allows them to shine, which again that's our job. Our job is to make professional bass anglers shine. Nobody does it better than Dave Mercer. Davey Height has been with us for how long, Davey? 8 years. Davey is he's the classic champion. He's the steady voice. He is accurate. He is the crankbait that the lip is perfect all the time. You get those crankbaits and they're going off. Maybe that's a little Zona. You never know. But he's just, he is right every time. And we are privileged to have you with us. All right, so I'm a pretty big sports fan. A lot of people are sports fan. I love my St. Louis Cardinals. I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I'm a broadcaster fan. I have Joe Buck and Tim McCarver etched in my brain calling playoff games and World Series. And I love it. I love those guys. Jim Nance and Tony Romo calling Chiefs football games. There's nothing better to me. Mark Zona and Tommy Sanders have lifted this sport over the last 20 years like no other broadcast team. I put them with those other 4 people I just mentioned. And that's not, I'm not saying it lightly. When I'm not directing, like a nerd, I'm sitting and watching live. And I say this about Tommy and Zona. It's comfortable. It's good. It's entertaining. It's what this sport has always needed, and they've been there. Again, for 20 years, Tommy Sanders and Mark Zona, thank you for letting me be along your ride. It's just been incredible. One more, and obviously none of us would be here without my best friend, my dad, Jerry McKinnis. I am unbelievably proud to be up here, to be honored like this with him. It's just crazy awesome. To know that the Hall of Fame holds me in this high regard means the world to me, and I thank you. Thank you, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Thank you all.
One more time, let's hear it for Mike McKinnis, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a little bit more of Mike McKinnis, he is featured on this week's Mercer podcast every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, available on all your podcast platforms and, of course, YouTube. As a matter of fact, so is our next inductee. Thank you for the kind words, Mike. You totally got me there. And you didn't F it up, it turns out. It was very, very good. Very, very good. This next one, a little concerned. But he is a big game player. Skeet Reese, a standout from Northern California, has left an indelible mark on angling far beyond his West Coast origin. Known for his tournament wins, his bold personal style, and his successful product development, Reese's influence spans the sport. His historic 2009 Bassmaster Classic win, a 2007 Angler of the Year title, and 12 victories, including a recent Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour event win, Reese's earnings surpass $4 million, placing him among the top 5 money earners of all time. Reese played a pivotal role in the launch of Major League Fishing and continues his entrepreneurship by launching Reese Fishing earlier this year. It gives me a great honor to please welcome Skeet Reese to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
I will. I'm going to. Wow. All right, I got some. I might have to hurry this up because I'm about ready to piss my pants. Anybody else need to go? We can take a break right now if you want. So.
You were the first to do it on live, just so you know.
Piss on camera? Did I really? Yeah. Well, apparently I've had a lot of firsts. Oh, wow. Damn it. All right, so apparently there's some bets going on how long it's going to take me to cry up here. So that walk up here doesn't count. So who's in on the bets? It's the Hall of Fame Board of Directors, I do believe. There's a couple hands all right there. Well, you thought I was already to cry, didn't you? No, those tears these don't count because I was down there, John. So thank you. Oh my gosh, I've got some stuff here, but I'm really here doing this right now. Now it might happen. Oh shit. So any of you that don't know me, I don't have a filter. And so there's no telling what's going to come out, when it's going to come out, but that's me. I'm looking in this room, and I see so many people that influenced sport. Here we go. Shit. So many people that influence this sport that we wouldn't be here tonight. With it wasn't for a whole group of you in here. So for me to be on the stage and be recognized, it's not something I dreamt to do. Never thought it would happen to me. I was just a kid from California that loved to catch fish. And so to be up here and be doing this right now, it's really humbling. I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be up here, to be part of history. Why do you guys gotta be so quiet? Somebody rip a big one or something. It's like, break the silence in the room here. I got these notes up here that I'm doing, and Mercer. So this is actually Mercer's idea. So if this screws up, it's his fault, but I appreciate it. So, but going back to who would have thought some little tow-haired kid from Northern California was going to make black and yellow popular, and be bringing a Bassmaster Classic title back to California. So, which is the only one. I guess I'm still the only one that's done that, and. So I want to thank the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame and all the people that have worked tirelessly to put on this event and give us a platform to showcase our sport and our love and our passion to the world that are coming through these doors every day. So thank you all for your hard work. So John, Barbara, you guys work your ass off. There's plenty more of you, but just thank you for doing what you guys do. I'm not one to talk about myself, so I'm not going to. My purpose up here tonight is thank the people. Oh boy, here we go again. It's like, it's building, she's gonna blow. But no, I'm here tonight to thank all the people that help in my process to get where I'm at today. There's a lot of them. Hell, I brought 43 people tonight. So friends and family. So first, where's Kevin and Sherry? Where are you at? He might make it someday still. Kevin and Sherry, I want to thank you for your nomination for this. That alone is an honor, just to be nominated by the GOAT. I still look at him. I'm still a fanboy, so fortunately him and I have been friends, and sometimes I still want to flick him right in the cod. So have any of you guys watched that Tom Brady roast that Kevin Hart did? Where they just ripped on him? How many of you think we should do that for Kevin? That's what I think so. This would be good. Kevin, would you do that? It's a good answer. It's a good answer. So when I was nominated for this, it created a lot of emotions that were hard to process at first. And first thing is they're telling me is I'm old as shit, and I'm like, "You're done." I'm like, "Whoa! I'm still fishing. I can't go in a Hall of Fame. I still got more to do." And so it was hard to accept at first, but then, fortunately for me, I was able to win the Bass Pro Tour event this year on the James River, and which was a huge mental boost and all that. So I was like, "Yeah, see, I told you I'm not done. I still got it." For one derby, we'll see what happens from here on out. But so in my head, I'm still a kid. I act like one. I mean, my family's down here. They'll probably tell you that my girls are way more mature than I am. But that's okay. So yeah, it's been hard to process, but now that I'm here and I got to reflect on my last, believe it or not, so I might, I look like I'm 30, but I'm really 55. Just kidding. I don't know, I look like Roland. Where's Roland at? Roland's 93 and he looks beautiful. But to be able to look back at what my career's been for the last 27 years of fishing full time, I'm like, gosh, I've done more than I thought, or you don't realize. It's just one of those things where you don't think about what you're doing, you just do. And it's just, you're putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward to the next tournament, trying to make a paycheck to put fuel in the vehicle to get home or to get to the next tournament, or hell, now trying to pay for college. Anybody else struggling with that? I didn't say I was struggling, but anyways. So it's very humbling. I'm very grateful to be up here. I got to say, this is cool because I'm still a fan of the sport, and to be able to be part of this. And I just want to say congratulations to all the other inductees. So Alfred, where's Alfred? Oh, you're right in front of me. Thank you for paving the way. Fred Arbogast. So I'm like everybody else. There's no telling how many fish I caught on Arbogast lures when I was a kid. And then Mike McKinnis, working with you for all the years that we did. Thank you for that. And then there's Z-Train. By the way, your Z down in the Hall of Fame just took up like the whole damn display. If you guys didn't see it, there's a Z in there about this big. Right in the middle. And then I got this nice little yellow corner over here. So and I'm going to say, so Zona came up to me last night, and he's like, "Oh, don't do this, don't do this." And we had a moment. and I appreciate that. I'm really trying to see if I can break them. But, all right, yes, we got it. All right, so there was 2 magazines that made a difference in my life growing up when I was a kid. One of them was Bass Pro Shops. The other was Playboy. And so, let's be real. So Johnny, you're in here. So I got to thank Johnny for giving me a magazine when I was a kid to be able to circle the corners or, fold corners, circle lures and pages, whatever. Like, you created so many fantasies in my head for fishing. So I want to thank you that. So, because those fantasies were a whole lot different what I got with the other one. But it is what it is. And I got to say, people are like, oh, he did not go there. I did. I told you, filters are not my thing. There's a man that is, I thought I was going to keep it together on this one. So, guy in here, you just saw him. He's holding a gun. Rick Clun. You've inspired in most of this room in here, probably in some way, shape, or form. You inspired me when I was 12 years old to fish for a living. And the freaking cool thing is, you put my jacket on me tonight. So thank you. Thanks for the inspiration. But there was a lot of others growing up. I look at, there's D. Thomas, Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Denny Brower, Hank Parker, Mark Davis, Larry Nixon, Gary Klein, and so many more of you in this room. And 100%, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Ray Scott. So thank you, Ray. So thank all of you for the inspiration, because that's why we're all here. We love this shit. We love fishing. We just want to keep doing it. And I'm going to get off track here, but how many of you like catching crappie now? I didn't want to catch a crappie until 2 years ago. And I'm like, hey, these things are kind of fun. So now I'm enjoying crappie fishing. My brother Jimmy, where are you at, bro? Our other brother John, who couldn't be here tonight. We love you, bud. Wish you could be here. Jimmy, I always thought you were a dumbass for not chasing your potential at the PGA Tour. Apparently, I was a bad influence, not just on a lot of things, but I was a bad influence, but that, I made you want to go fishing. But congratulations on your career, and I know that's a brotherly competition. Anybody ever compete against siblings? Yeah. So I think you pushed me, because especially as older brother, when you can kick your older brother's ass, it's even better. And so I think he did push me, and I thank you for that, and I love you, bro. My best friend in life, Jeff Hampton. Where are you at, bro? Don't cry yet, because I will. We were brothers from different mothers and father. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have finished high school. So, there's another guy named Ben O'Huney, and you guys taught me so much when I was a teenager. You inspired me, but it's these guys in here that inspired us, and that's what's cool. So we learned how to fish out of belly boats. Anybody know what a belly boat is? If you fish in the South, you sure as hell don't. Float tube, belly boats. All right, it's an inner tube with a seat. You got flippers, waders, you kick around. That's what we did. I mean, we're like a bunch of big-ass ducks kicking around the water out there. But this is where we learned how to fish. This is where our competitive juices started, because we were literally trying to emulate what our heroes in front of us were doing. I wanted to be Rick Clun. Well, actually, I thought Jeff was going to be Rick Clunn. And then Benno was going to be the Roland Martin, but he's a short, chubby little redhead, so he didn't match. So I don't know where I fit in, but I never thought I would be the one that would make it. I thought these guys were going to be the superstars growing up. I got to tell, so anybody got how many Vienna sausages is like your go-to food when you're eating? Whatever. I mean, I'm a little older. I don't do that as much. So we lived on canned beans in our float tubes. Do you know how much gas you get when you eat 4 cans of beans in a day? It's a lot. If you didn't have waders on, you would go right across the lake. But instead, no, it comes right up your waders. You're like, shouldn't eat. I got to switch to ranch next time. I don't know. But there were so many great memories growing up fishing out of a float tube, and this is where the dreams were started. I fished my first tournament when I was 14 years old. That was a long time ago, 41 years ago. Redwood Empire Bass Club. And I remember there's 3 of us in a boat. I didn't catch ship that day. But the cool thing about it is one of the guys I fished with that day, his name is Dale Royal, and he's here tonight. Thanks for letting a 14-year-old kid in your boat to keep the dream going, to keep the dream alive. He actually does drive my rig around the country anymore, so if you see the big truck, it's not typically me, it's Dale. So, but the Bass Club taught me so many things. There was it gave me a social group of people that were good. They had all like-minded ideas of what they loved in the outdoors, and this is going way beyond my time limit, but I don't really care right now. So, but there was a point in time in my early 20s, I thought I was pretty hot shit. And I realized real quick that I wasn't. I wound up being broke. I wound up being homeless, living in the back of my truck, which, Rick, you're spot on what you say. When you hit rock bottom, you have a passion. It pulls you through. But there's 2 guys I met at Bass Club that gave me a chance. They took me under the wing, taught me a trade. I became a tile setter. They're also here tonight. John Kidder and Paul Vianello, thank you. I can honestly say you guys helped get me back on track and allowed me to be where I'm at today, so thank you. I never thought it. We didn't think it was going to happen, but we're here. So I got to thank a guy named Kenny Eli. I was tiling. We were tiling at Subway Deli. Guy came up, and we're doing his store, and he's like, hey, here you're into fishing. I said, yeah, a little bit. I'm still setting tile, so I'm not very good. But he asked you, hey, you want to come work for me? I'm opening up a tackle store. And I said, you are a dumbass. Back then, I'm like, how are you going to compete against the big box? And he gave me an idea. Like, wow, this is a big deal. And so I went to work for Ken. And that was probably the best thing that ever happened to my fishing career, because it taught me about the business side of the fishing industry. I didn't know what the hell a skew was. Most fishermen still don't, probably, but I learned what packaging, package size, skew counts. So it taught me how to be able to talk to sponsors when I wasn't fishing tournaments. So I think that was probably one of the greatest things that happened to me. And I'm grateful for Ken and Debbie Eli giving me that opportunity, because the success I've had on the water, which I've done okay. I know $4 million sounds like a lot, but you spend that really quick. Entry fees aren't cheap anymore. But I got to thank them. Oh, boy. That yin-yang thing. If I'm yin, John Murray is my yang. This dude's one of the greatest anglers to come out of the western United States. And he's been my roommate for 27 years. And I would not have the successes I've had if it wasn't for you. You've steered me in the right direction so many times. like me, you say squirrel, yep, where? That's me. But you pointed me in the right direction. I can't thank you enough. We've had a lot of fun, got a lot of stories. A lot of them we can't talk about up here. A lot of them include Byron Velvick over here, The Bachelor. I just had to rub that in. He's like, oh, he's gonna punch me later for that one. Byron, thanks for putting me on the right swim bait to beat you at Lake Gunnersville. I enjoyed that. That's spent, that's gone. But anyways, but I gotta say, I want to give props. So Byron, you taught me how to be a sight fisherman. You were the greatest sight fisherman I ever been around. So you taught me so much about that, and I thank you for that. But there's so many other guys from the West. I mean, the late great Aaron Martins. I love you. I miss you, bud. Nobody like you. Oh wow. That one's gonna well up. They're building. We can talk about Aaron for an hour up here. But there's, Kent Brown, love you, bud, out there. But there's so many from the West that taught me, that allowed me to be able to come out here and try my hand fishing against you guys east of the Mississippi, which was, not a lot of us had done that. So we are all inspired by this group in here to be able to go try and do it for a living some point in time in our lives. And I've been able to manage to do it a little bit. I have friends and family here that supported me. My aunt and uncle, Phil and Judy, I love you guys. See my lips quivering? So, you guys have been awesome. Mike and Beryl Mora, Dale and Kara Stroshine, Brett and Amy McCord, Brent and Kelly Ayler, Tim and Sarah Chambers. Tim is my financial advisor. I love you wherever you're at, so if you need a good financial advisor, he does a great job. Gary and Beth Barbier, Dan and Christina Sullivan. Dano, where are you at, bro? You have been so supportive of my career and given so much to me from a media standpoint, friendship standpoint, and I thank you for that. Love you too. Love you, man. All right, so I know there's a lot of businesses that compete against each other in here, and that's just business. Hell, the elephant in the room is always how am I laughing bass? But the bottom line is there's one common denominator that brings us all together, and that's our love for fishing. We are all here for the same reason. So don't ever lose sight of why we're here and how we got here. I got to thank Bass for giving me the platform to get my career started. I've been part of Major League Fishing for the last 11 years. We've had a blast. It's taught me so much. But I am going to say this. I do have a little bit of concern of what our sport looks like moving forward. And how do we preserve a sport that has given everybody in this room a platform to work from for 50 years? I don't ever want to lose sight of that. So let's all work together to make sure that we have angler growth, economic growth, and making sure that our sport is fun moving forward. So just don't ever lose sight of that. Speaking of economics, this is my economics based on my partnerships with sponsors all these years. I've had a lot of sponsors come and go. That every one of them has been part of me being where I'm at today, so I want to say thank you to them. But there's one company here that has probably helped build my brand more than any other company I've worked with, and that's Lucky Craft Lures. So I got the president from Lucky Craft USA, Minoru Sagawa, here. Yeah. You've been a good friend, and so much so that he actually entrusted me to marry him and his wife. I don't know if it's legal. I haven't heard anything all these years later, so glad it's working out. My longest running sponsor, Mercury Marine, Michelle Kilburn here. Thank you for keeping me around still. Lawrence Electronics, I got Doug and Cheryl, Doug O'Hara and Cheryl Spencer from Lawrence. Thank you for your continued support. Ranger Boats, still building great boats one at a time. Kara Davison, where are you? Hi, Kara. Thanks still for still believing in the old guys. I appreciate that. Bass Pro Shops, you guys have been a blast to work with. Dustin Schumacher, where are you at? Whatever, can't see you. Anyways, I'm pretty sure Johnny is the only sponsor that any of us have that has the capabilities to have an event like this in the home office. So thank you for Bass Pro Shops for having us. Power Pole, you guys make some badass products, and you are an amazing team to work with. So everybody at Power Pole, hope they're being safe down in Florida with the hurricane coming down there. I want to thank Grundon's Outerwear for making great clothing. Another company, Casking. You guys like a silent ninja coming into the industry and taking out the competition. There's a guy here named Al Noriker. There's Al. So Al and I worked together on a yellow rod project. Anybody ever see any yellow rods out there? We sold a couple. So I want to thank you for that. But and congratulations on your retirement coming up. I'm pissed you're retiring, but thank you for everything you've done for the sport. But you inspired me. So now I'm in the due process of launching my company, Reese Fishing. And I got some really good friends here, Roy Gray, Mike Scaglione. You guys are helping me guide me through this process, so thank you for that. And Roy's actually my steelhead and halibut guide. So if you guys need any guides coming to Northern California, Roy's not a guide, but he said I'll take you. And you can go. Okay, now this is where it's going to be a train wreck. I got to thank my mom and dad for spawning and having me. My dad. I mean, if my dad was here, I would have had him put my jacket on me today, but he's not with us anymore. So, Rick, he's my substitute dad still. My Reese's Pieces. So our text chain with my family, Leah, Courtney, Kim, myself, it's called Reese's Pieces. Damn it. This gone like for an hour now? What is this? I'm sorry, I'm dragging you on, but I'm taking my time. I'll read it. You girls are my pride and joy. You two have sacrificed so much. I have missed so many parts of your life, and I know that it hasn't been easy. I'm sorry for that. Just know that you two have been part of my driving force. I wanted to give you ladies a life that I didn't have growing up. Wanting you to know that you are loved and that you have self-worth. When you were born, I learned what unconditional love is. I'm so proud of what strong, confident, independent, loving, and compassionate women you have turned out to be. I love you. And now for the Reese's piece that keeps all this shit together. Kim, my loving wife. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. There's no way I could have navigated this process on my own. I wouldn't be on the stage if it wasn't for you. You have endured the highs and the lows of life, our marriage, our sport, and you still continue to be by my side. No words can tell you how grateful and appreciative I am for what you've done. You've taught me so much about life, empathy. That plaque down there should have both of us on it because you are just as much as part of my success as me with that fishing pole. So thank you. Everybody, don't ever live with regrets. Failure is not trying. And I think I went past my time limit. Thank you.
I am really scared to do this, but Skeet, come on back up here. To make the plaque presentation, I'd like to welcome Kathy Fennell, and let's make this official. Let's hear it for Skeet Reese, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me wipe the tears away for the photo. Oh, you're not coming in here? Hi, Dave. Love you, Dave.
Love you too. Goodbye. Yes, you can take whatever the hell you want. You've taken a lot from us here this evening. Skeet Reese is also on the Mercer podcast this week, and I know this is going to shock the shit out of everybody. It's our longest podcast ever. Wow. We are here to raise some money this evening. And we're going to take a little break from our inductions. And we need to bring up, we do a live auction here. And we tried it for a few years, and it was horrible because we didn't have an auctioneer. But we do have an auctioneer here joining me here today. And I mean, let's be honest. His name is Kenny Ray McGraw. With a name like that, he had no choice. It was NASCAR or auctioneering. Let's bring him up from Blackman Auctions, Kenny Ray McGraw. Kenny, you can do whatever the hell you want after that. I mean, take all the time in the world. But our first item. Yes, sir. And this is going to shock you. It's a Skeet Reese picture. And after that, you better buy it. An original painting by Doug Schumer. I'm sure, Skeet, I don't know if you've signed it already, but I'm sure you will. And Kenny, we have some prize queens in the crowd. We got Kevin Van Dam and Davey Height going to run around and take your bids, and we all want to go to bed tonight. We have an after
to bid
party.
on this? We need to sell this shit quick.
Yeah, let's not drag this on. Don't be hard to spend.
Alfred's falling asleep over here. Let's go.
Alfred, sorry, you're going to have to get inducted next year, it turns out. Johnny Morris has rented this building out tomorrow, and we got to leave.
Give Skeet a close look at this. I'm pretty sure there's nobody in the building that would appreciate that more than Skeet. He does like it. Okay, where's the bid and start? Let's go.
All right, thank y'all very much. It's a pleasure to be here, an honor to be here. I can't see, so y'all will have to
open to
take
everybody
the
in the
bids.
whole room. So
Okay. All right. Sitting here, my time, I'm gonna get 40. Everybody better get $500 bill. Everybody get 500 now. $600 better get 500.
Anybody else? Let's bid this up.
600.
He'll pay for it.
He'll get 600. He'll about get $700 better get 700. He's $700 bill better get $800 bill. $800 bill. $800 bill. $800 bill. $800 back there. Anybody? $800 bill. $800 bill. $800 get 900. $900 get $9,000 bill. Better get $1,000 bill. Get 1,000. Better get $1,000. $1,100 bill. 11 to 12. About to get 12 now, 1,300, better get 13 now, 1,400, 15, about to get 15 now, $1,600 bill, about to get 16, $16, here, better get 16, $16, about to get $1,600 bill, about to get 1,600, $16, Skeet, 1,600, about to get 16 now, 17, $17, about to get 1,700, about to get 17, $1,700 bill, better get 17, $1,800, 1,800, 18, your turn, Skeet, 18, about $1,800 bill, 18, come on, 18, 18, come on, Skeet, $1,800 bill. 18. Y'all tell me he was cheap. You told me he was cheap. 18, $1,900 get 19. Here, but get $1,900 bill. 19, here, but get $1,900, but get 19. Anybody else in the house? $1,900 get 1,900. 1,900. Here, but get last call. Here, but get 1,900. Sold it, $1,800 bill right here. Skeet.
Whew, thank you, Skeet. What's up next, Mercer?
That was the best thing you did tonight, Skeet, gotta be honest. Next up, we've got a pattern here. We got another picture by Doug Schumer, and it is of the one and only Z-Train, Mark Zona. And where we're starting our bidding here. Mark is here, yeah. He's gonna be
he's walking right back in.
Unless
Right
he went to bed. I mean, he might have gone to bed. Good chance.
All right, on the next one right here. All right, so him it's on what to get 40. You better get $500 bill.
You can look and see it
get
back here in the
500.
room.
You better get
Original
$500.
art, Mark Zona.
You better get 250.
The Z Train.
You better get 250 now.
Right here,
350.
my wife.
3.5. But you better get $350 bill. About to get 350. 3.5. But you get 350. But you get 350.
Right,
Way
we
back
got
there. You better get
350 right over
350.
here.
Now 4.5. But you get 550. But you get 550. 50. But you better get 550. 550. 650. Now 750. 750 to buy me. But you better get 750 back to you. Here, but you better get 750. But you better get 750. 750. 750, 850, here to buy $850 bill, 850, to buy 850, to buy 850, 950, 950, back there, here, but you better get $950, better get 950, 1,050, 1050 to buy, but you better get 1050, now 1,150, 1,150 to buy, 1,150, ma'am, here, 1,150 to buy, 1,150, 11.5 here to buy, 1,150 to buy, 11, you better get 1,150, now 1,250, 12.5 here, and come on, 12.5, but you better get 1,250 to buy, but you better get now 1,350, 13.5, but you better get 1,350 to buy, but you get 1,350, 13 half, anybody better get 1350 by over this way, anybody get 1350, now 1450, 14 half, but you get 1450 here, but you better get 1450, now 1550 here, but you get 1550 to buy, but you better get 1550 by, but you get 1550, 15 half, anybody get 1550 by, but you better get 1550,
I mean, it's the Mark Zona Z Train original. Let's go.
15, now 1650, 16 half, 16 to buy, get 1650, anybody get 1650.
I wouldn't bet against that woman right there.
16 half, anybody get 1650 by, get 1650 back there.
Davey, where are you at?
1650 all done, 1650. Sold it, $1,550 bill right here.
There we go. Let's go.
This is working pretty good. We have another piece of art, and I'd like to welcome from Texas Parks and Wildlife one of our board members, Tom Lang, to explain this special piece that we are auctioning off right now.
Thank you so much. I want to introduce you to this painting. This is a 30 by 40 G clay print of a piece called Hooked. It is archival ink. It will not fade for over 200 years. It has been embellished by artist Deborah Cooper. Deborah is from Dallas, Texas. And what I want to tell you is a quick story about Deborah. I'm not going to cry either, but you may, because Deborah came to the Texas Freshwater Fishery Center when she was battling breast cancer, and she had put her art brushes down, and she was depressed, and she was fighting through it, and her neuropathy and her pain was causing her to not be able to do what she loved. And she took pictures. Her husband, who's since passed, Damon, took her to TFFC because of the healing powers of nature. And she connected with this bass. This bass was Sherrilunker 578, caught by Gary Klein, that we had on display at the Texas Freshwater Fishery Center. And that bass and her connection with that bass got her to pick up her brushes and start painting again, and to get her out of her issues, to help work through her breast cancer, which she is free today. And so this, to me, speaks to the power of what we do. Fishing, we love fishing, and it's so much more than just fishing, ladies and gentlemen. And so Deborah wanted to do something great with this work, and she has donated that tonight to help the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, the great work that we do. So thank you all so much.
It's a special piece, and it just reminds us that fishing is so much more. I mean, it gives so much to so many people.
Take a close
And
look at that print.
Gary Klein's in the house. I mean, you got to start the bidding, right?
I think that is Gary Klein's bass for sure.
Alrighty, on the beautiful all on canvas right here, guys. Sell it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Here to much on what do you get for here? But you get $1,000 bill to buy, $8,000 bill to buy, $1,000. Here, but you get $500. Here, but you get $500 bill. Get $500 now, $600 bill. $500 bill to buy, get $600 bill to buy, get $600 now, $700. $700 bill, $800 bill, $800 bill, $700. $800 bill, $800 bill, $800, get $900, get $900, $900, you better get $900, get $9,000 bill, you better get $1,000, $8,000, you better get $1,000 bill, you better get $1,000 over here, you better get $1,000 bill, $8,000 where to buy, you better get $1,000, you better get $1,000 bill, you better get $1,000 bill, $8,000 here, you better get $1,000 all down, here, you better get $1,000 bill, you back in, here, you better get $1,000 bill, $8,000, $1,000 all down, you better get $1,000, now $1,100 bill, $1,100 bill, $1,100 bill, $1,100 bill, $1,100 bill, you say $1,100 900, 11, 12, everybody better get 1200. E12, he everybody better get $1,200 bill, better get 12, everybody better get $1,200 bill. E12, everybody better get $1,200, that'll get 1200, 1200, better get 1200.
We got it. Gary's got his hand raised over here.
Everybody better get $1,200 bill, better get 1200. One more time, everybody better get 1200, everybody better get $1,200 bill. E12, everybody better get 12, all down to 12, everybody better get 12, I'm gonna get 12, I'm gonna get 12, 1300.
Gary, don't let that
get
go.
1300, get 13. Where'd you go? $1,300 bill. E13, about to get, I'm back here, better get $1,300, better get 13. E13, about to get 13. There you are, 1,300, get 13, now 1,400. 14, about to get 14, now $1,500 bill, get 15. E15, about to get $1,500 bill, about to get 15, about to get $1,500 bill. E15, now 16. E16, he about to get 1,600. E16, now 17, about to get 1,700. He better get 17. He come on 17, about to get 17. He better come 1,800. 18, he about 1,800, bill of $1,800 bill. 18, one more time, 18, 1,900. He better get $1,900 bill. He better get 19, about to get 19, about 19, 19, 19, 19, 18, 19, everybody get 19, now to get 1900. One more time, 19, 19, now 2. Even money, everybody get 2,000. Now 21, about to get 2,100. E21, everybody get 21. E about $1, get 21, get 21. 21, everybody want 21, get 21. All done, 21, all done, 21. Last call, everybody get 21. Sold it, $2,000 bill right here in the middle.
All right, this next auction item, a very special item. Hall of Famer Steve Bowman, along with legendary outdoor photographer James Overstreet. They put a lot of work into this. 1,500 beer caps, and those beer weren't going to drink themselves. They did this for you, ladies and gentlemen, and they created this scene of a largemouth bass chasing a fleeing shad. They did it throughout the 2024 college baseball season, so incredible commitment that they put into this. And we're going to start the bidding right here. Thank you for drinking all that beer, Steve Bowman.
Oh, great deal. They just finished that up about an hour before we come on stage here. All right? That's the reason he's falling off. All right, here, sitting here much on. What do you afford? Here, but get $1,000 bill. 1,000, where to buy? But get 500. Here, but get 250 now, 3.5. 250, but get $350 bill. But get 350 to buy. Get 350. 350 to buy. But get 350. And about to get 350. 3.5. But get $350 bill. But get 350 to buy. But get 3.5. But get 350. But get 3.5. 350 to buy. But get $350 bill. But get 350 to buy. But get 350. 350. Anybody get 3.5 to buy? But get 350. Anybody get 350, 50 on down 350 now 450, 4.5, 400. Where you better get $400 bill? Forward about better get $400 bill. Better get 400. Anybody get $400 bill? Last call. Here, but you better get $400. Better get $400. Better get 400. $400. Better.
This is truly an original artwork, if that's what you want to call it. It combines three of the best passions in America: baseball, bass, and beer. Right? All these beer caps were collected over the course of several Elite Series events. You drank some of them too. So, and it was put together in the middle of baseball season while we watched baseball. Overstreet helped me pour the acrylic, and it's got almost 1,500 bottle caps. So there'll never be another one like it. I can't stand it.
It's incredibly detailed, so this is a really special piece of art. Let's get this bids going.
That's true. Now we got a new bidder at 400. Now 450. 450, ma'am. He better get 450 now. $500. He better get 500. He better get 550. He better get 550. 50. He better get 550 to buy now. $600 bill. It's 600 now. He better buy 650. He better get 650 now. 700. He better get 700. He better get $700 bill. 7. He better get 750 to buy. He better get 700 to buy. Get 750. 750. $800 bill. 800. He better $800 bill. 800. $800 bill, about $800, $800 bill, about 800, 850, $850 bill, 850 to buy, 850, 850 this way. Anybody get 850, 50 back there, about 850, 50 on down to 850, 850 on down to 850, 900. Anybody get $900, get $900 bill, but you go 950, you get 950, 950 to buy, but you get 950, you get 950, you get 950 to buy, but you get 950, 950 to buy, you get 950, you get 950 on down to 950, anybody get 950 on down to 950. 950, sold it, $900 bill right here.
Good job, Brandon.
We have one more item in our live auction, but want to remind people at 9 o'clock our silent auction items close, so just a few minutes away from that, so get on your phones and make sure you get those last-minute bids. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'd like to thank the Missouri Bass Fishing Team for helping us here today. They absolutely did not drink any of those beers, not any of those. But we have one more item, and it's a popular one always at this event, the crankbait flag. This American flag was built out of Strike King 2.5 crankbaits, all signed by Bass Fishing Hall of Famer Kevin Van Dam and created exclusively for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
All right, start the bidding here. What do you get for it? He better get $1,000 bill. 8,000. He better get 500. He better get $600. Better get 500. Now $600 bill. He fine. Be about to get $600 bill. Better get 500. 600. He said he.
This is a really cool piece of art.
Yes, sir. He
My wife's making me take a picture in front of it.
600. He about to get $600 bill. Better get $600 bill. He about to get 600. He said he about to get $600 bill. Get $600 bill. It's 600. He about to get $600 bill. Better see if he better get 550, but he better get 550. 550 to bound, but he better get 550 to bound, but he better get 550. Now 600, better get 550. Now 600, better get 600.
Hey, keep a close eye on my wife. She's bidding on it now, so that's trouble.
He's about to get $600 bill. He's saying he's about to get 600. What do you get 600? He's saying he's about to get $600 bill. He would get $600 down. 600. Anybody? Last call. He would get $600 down. Get 600. Now 70. Better get 700. Better get 700. Better get 800 down. Better $800 bill. 800. Get 900. Better get 900. Better get $900 bill. 9, he better get 900 back there. Anybody, I'm up here, 900. He better get $9,000 bill. Better get 1,000. He better get $1,000 bill. $1,000 bill. Better get 1,000. 8,000. He better get $1,000 bill. One more time. He better get $1,000 bill. 8,000 there. 1,000 where? He better get 1,000. Now $1,100 bill. 1,100 way back there. About 11 to 12. He better get 1,200. He 12 about. He better get $1,200 bill. Better get 12. He better get 12. He better get 12. 1,200. 12. 13. He 13 the bank. He better get 1,300. He better get 13. He 13 about to get $1,300. He better get $1,300. Get 13, about to get $1,300, better get 13, last call, while to go, he'll get 1,300, 13, 1, he'll get 13, 2, 13, he'll get 13, 3, sold it, $1,300 bill right over here.
Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Ray McGraw from Blackman Auctions, a great job. Once again, last reminder, 9 o'clock, our silent auction items close. And we will continue with our induction here this evening. But before we do that, Skeet Reese forgot to thank a few people. No, I'm only joking. Skeet, I don't want to pick on you. Our next inductee, first of all, let's hear it for everybody supporting the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. I'm very excited about this next inductee, and he's excited to get this going. Alfred Williams, hailing from Jackson, Mississippi, navigated through enduring racial divide to excel in bass fishing. Returning from Vietnam, he broke barriers as one of the few black competitors, ultimately earning a spot in the 1983 Bassmaster Classic, a historic first for a black angler. Williams' innovative techniques, particularly with a hollow body frog, led to over 200 victories. His success inspired a new generation of black anglers like Ish Monroe and Mark Daniels Jr. Beyond race, Williams' contributions to bass fishing are undeniable. His 4 pro-level wins and a legacy of mentorship for black anglers nationwide, Williams competed in nearly 300 events across Bassmaster and FLW circuits. Please welcome your next inductee to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, Mr. Alfred Williams.
Thank you. Down through the years, the Lord has been good to me. To my wife of 54 years, my daughter, granddaughter, grandson, nieces, and nephews. It is a pleasure just to be up here. I mean, it's an honor to be up here. And when I think back
how all of this started. It was in a room just like this. We entered a tournament, and I didn't know how I was going to be accepted. We walked in, and it was a room like this. There was a lot of, talking going on. And some of the older folks in here know when I say if we had an E.F. Hutton moment, we walked in, and everybody got quiet. We didn't know what to think. So we went over and sit at a table. Then just a little after we sit down, a nice, well-dressed gentleman came over and invited us to his table to have dinner with him. And from that time on, and we went on and fished the tournament. I drew out with an ex-pro football player, Perry Dunn, played at Ole Miss. I don't know, he probably played Arkansas and Missouri. But we had a good time. I mean, a good time. And until this day, we are still friends. I mean, I can see him now, and we still talk just like we did back at that time. But we were on out, and, we fished the tournament and all. And I had a spot, and I told him, I had a spot located, and he said, it'll take us a long time to get there. We was running the Ranger TR-10s, which is the top of the line, but it wasn't very fast at that time. So we finally got down there, and he says, we started fishing, and he wasn't too enthused about the place I chose, but I started putting him in the boat. And to make a long story short, I finished just out of the money. And he come to me, he told me, he said, if we'd have listened to you, we both would have did well. So I was well hooked on bass fishing. I could not wait until another opportunity would arise to give me a chance to get back on the water and see what I could do. And from that time on, I was just completely ate up with nothing but fishing. My wife says I tease about a young man, and I know, he's just like she said, just like I was. He leave fishing, going fishing. It's just the way he is. I can call him anytime. He said, I had a couple hours, I'm going out there, see what they're doing. So that's kind of the way it was. But, moving forward, obviously, I qualified for the Bassmasters Classic in 1983, the first black African-American to fish the Bassmasters Classic. And my wife was there, and there was 41 other anglers in that tournament. I've talked to some of them tonight. Like Coach Larry Nixon, won the tournament. I know Hank Parker was there, and a couple others that OT Fields this year tonight. I spoke with him. We was all at this tournament, but during that tournament, it was just like a family deal. We went out to dinner together, we ate together, and it came like a tight-knit group. And friends that we made, we're still friends with them today. And for a long time, when people were still sending postcards, we was getting postcards with some people who went to the Classic with. But people like sponsored me. I didn't have a whole lot of sponsors. But when I went to the Classic, I spoke to one gentleman, and that's Mr. Forrest Wood. And he told him that, I would like to, pursue fishing. And all he said was, when you get home, just send me a letter and tell me what you want to try to do. And I was on the Ranger Pro staff for 28 years. And that was just an outstanding relationship with the people at Ranger. The people at Ranger at that time was just like another, family group that really, really cared about the people that came up and talked to them. You didn't just go up there. You had to visit with them when you went up there. You had to sit down and talk and, pass the time of day, more or less. But, that Classic deal, it got me thinking about maybe I was going to try to go into fishing or whatever. And like, Rick said, you got to, hit rock bottom. But I didn't hit rock bottom. I was just at a crossroad. Is that I had 15 years on a government job, so I had to think about what that. I got a young baby at home, kids at home, so but at that time, it's not like it is now, where you go from one tournament to the next. You had just about everybody that was on the tournament trail. We go out and fish the tournament, 3, 4, 5 day tournament, and we go back and work the next week. Well, they don't do that now. The tournament is their work now. But I stayed with my job, and I still was able to fish. I would choose to fish one BASS tournament per year. It didn't cost anything locally. And then in 1988, I spoke to Ranger again and told him that I would like to fish, the whole circuit. And I got it arranged where I had enough time to get off to be able to fish the whole thing. Again, all that Forrest Wood says, okay. And again, I stayed on the Ranger Pro staff, fishing tournaments to 2008. That's when I stopped. But people like Bruce, that Pratco, I called him up, telling him that I was fishing. And all Bruce says, make me a list of the stuff that you need. And he started sending me, and I had lures, line, everything I need. But this fishing, I just made so many friends. I can't even come close to thinking about the friendships that I made and the connection that I made just through fishing. I got people, since I was, nominated and inducted to the Hall of Fame, people was calling me. People I hadn't heard of in 30, 35 years. And they called and wished me, congratulate me on this achievement. And it is truly an honor to be standing here tonight. It's just really, really an honor for me to stand before you. And because they say I'm a trailblazer. Well, you didn't start out to be a trailblazer. You just started on a trail, and it got to be blazing, I guess. Yeah. But it's I've had some success out, for winning tournaments and doing well enough in the tournament to say I was decent enough fisherman, I guess you wanted to call. But there's one sponsor that I failed to mention, and that is the snag-proof lure company at the time. All it was just a little garage. That's all it was. But they put out a frog, and I modified the frog. And if anybody, all the fishermen in here now know that all of the frogs are based on that concept. I don't care what brand it is or whatever, it's on that concept that we came up with snag-proof by putting the skirt on this little frog, and on it. And it was such a eye-opener, I guess it was, and it still, people would see it, and they didn't want to believe it until they saw it really in action. And I had a tournament on Kentucky Lake, and I did really, really well, and I was all thrown on the frog, and that's one of the first tournaments that a frog ever did anything else in after. And I remember Rick Klon saying, you done open up a new can of worms, or basically something like that, on frog. But that's what they was hitting, and everybody else wasn't, on the grass wasn't really catching anything. But that little thing it's put a lot of checks in the bank for me. So let's put it like that. But I know Skeet was up here and he used up all my time, so I'm not going to. But yeah. But to the but to the Hall of Fame committee, I just want to thank them. They just been outstanding. And again, I keep going back to Bruce, but Bruce, he the one first called me and told me that I was nominated for this, and he's been working with me ever since. And the people at Pratco and Major League Fishing, Captain Fong, it's just, I mean, just, again, just people, you know, that I've known and come in that's just been so supportive of me. I just really, really, really appreciate that. And I know I probably didn't, you know, thank enough people, but it was just so many people that helped me all along the way. And again, the bass fishing group, I mean, a lot of guys I didn't, you know, but you don't really know. But anytime that you had a problem and you needed help or doing anything, it would be right there. I mean, was it picking you up and getting you back to the ramp or helping you, you know, get a boat, you straighten out or something, anything like that. All you do is act. Now, they wouldn't tell you wasn't no fish yet, but I mean, they would help you in any other way that they could, you know. They were just kind of guys they are, you know. And again, like I said, if you know anybody that I misthank for helping me all those years, I really appreciate it. And like I said, I still like to do it, but my body just tells me, said, no, you better stop now. But again, I just want to thank you, and I'm very honored. I mean, truly, truly honored to be standing here tonight and be inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. And I love you, and I thank you.
I'd like to welcome Bruce Stanton to present Alfred with his plaque. One more time, let's hear it for Alfred Williams, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't very nice what you said about Skeet. It was true, but it wasn't nice at all, Alfred. Our final inductee this evening. I'm supposed to read a script, and I will. But before I do that, I just want to say he's one of my best friends on this planet. He's a man whose words make pictures brighter. When Mark Zona says something, it means more. Mark Zona discovered his lifelong passion for fishing at the age of 4 in Sturgis, Michigan. Winning his first bass tournament at 9 ignited his competitive drive. Transitioning from selling boats to competing at a national level, he won the FLW EverStart Northern Division Angler of the Year in 2003. Zona's television career blossomed when he joined ESPN Outdoors in 2004, hosting Loudmouth Bass and later the World's Greatest Fishing Show, today known as Zona's Awesome Fishing Show. His online presence expanded with Zona Live and other shows, garnering over 15 million YouTube views. A mainstay with bass, Zona pioneered live tournament coverage, captivating audiences worldwide with his passion for fishing. Please welcome to the 2024 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, Mark Zona.
Thank you. Wow. If you thought Skeets was long, get ready for this one. No, we're going to slow things down. Evidently, some of y'all don't really know that there's a Thursday night football game. Cowboys, Giants. Anyway, here's what's really weird. Here's what's so strange. I take notes. I've taken notes for 20 years with Tommy just so I wouldn't let him down, and I've taken a bunch of notes. And I know I'm not going to look at them at all. I'm so horrible at public speaking. I'm not kidding. You could tell me that camera has 2 million people behind it, and I'm all good. But to sit in front of 6 junior high kids, I start shaking and trembling. So to be in front of this room, I'm a little more stressed out, to be honest with you. before I go into a quick story, and I want to give a fishing story, hats off to the inductees, Skeet, Alfred, Mike, Fred Arbogast. I mean, I think it was the first lure I ever had. Hats off to you. And more than that, hats off to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame board. Like, I had no idea how hard y'all work. I had no idea how hard you guys work. And I learned that throughout this process. And most of all, I don't know if Johnny's still here. It's kind of getting late. Johnny, are you here? Is he here? No, he hightailed out of here. Totally did. Totally did. Johnny for giving the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame a house. The Bass Fishing Hall of Fame kind of floated around for a decade or two or three. Johnny gave it a house, and more than that, Johnny taught me before this room, there's been a lot of conservation dinners, and I sat in this room, and I didn't know what the word conservation meant. I do now because of him. It is that dude, even though he's not in here anymore tonight, fights for hunting and fishing rights. And when I got in a little pillow fight with our governor in Michigan, Johnny came to my defense a while back. So hats off to the inductees, the board of directors, and definitely Johnny for giving the Hall of Fame a house and really standing up for hunters and fishermen. So real quick, I'm going to have Kevin bring something up. I'm going to tell a quick fishing story about a bass that I had no idea. Guys, that's Kevin Van Dam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin's a good dude. He's a good basser. He's a good basser. So this fish right here, we were going to put it in the little, the thing Skeet made fun of, that my logo. I was also going to put a bass in there and really try to take over the whole thing. This bass right here, you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, you do a step back of why. Why am I here? And I'm going to rewind time real quick about this fish, okay? I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My dad, my mom, they worked hard. They bought a place on a lake, and all I did was fish. All I did was fish. And there was one day, there's a little bridge, a little road by a marina, and I would go down there day after day after day, and I would throw my little, remember those 3 pre-rigged worms with a split shot, right? Purple with a white stripe, that was my jam. And I throw it under that bridge, and I remember the day. I remember everything. I remember the sky. It's weird, and I don't want to get too deep. There's certain things in your life that you remember where it's ingrained in you. It's ingrained in you. And for some reason, besides meeting Karen, the only other thing that's ingrained in my head is either shooting a deer or catching a bass in my fantasy football team. And I throw up under this bridge. And there's three, at the time, I was 10 years old. And there's 3 bullies on the bridge, and I throw up under the bridge, and they're giving it to me. They're feeding it to me. Like, you're a loser, you're a dork, you're not going to catch nothing. And if y'all close your eyes right now, all I kept thinking was, just give me a bite. Give me a bite to shut them up. And they're feeding it. And back then, like 13-year-old smoked marbs, I think I probably might have bummed one. I don't know. Hackney, where you at? Seth. And as God is my witness, I could relive it right now. I skipped under the bridge to the left, and I watched my line go and rise off the water, and I got him. And it's this bass right here. It come out, And all three of them dudes, here's what's funny. I hate to say this is back before conservation, Johnny. I put them on a stringer, and we rode, and those three are behind me that were bullies. They were behind me like the scene from E.T., where they've got E.T., and I got this thing. And we go to my mom and dad's house, and here's what I know. Those dudes looked at me for the rest of my life. They're older than me. That bass fishing was cool. Bass fishing was cool. It wasn't till they saw that. When that thing, that could have been a 20-pound smallmouth, but when it jumped, it was the biggest bass in my life. Ever. Bass fishing was cool to those three. And as I went through my teens and fished a gazillion tournaments into my 20s, that's all I wanted people to know, that bass fishing was cool, right? It's what we're all here for. It's the only thing on earth, next to your family, it's bass fishing. And I wanted people to know that. I challenged my kids when they were born. I said, hey, listen, you're born in a bass fishing family. You show people that bass fishing's cool. So fast forward to Van Dam, given my name, and thank you. Where are you at? Thank you. I'll never take for granted you giving my name to Jerry McKinnis and ESPN and Mike grabbing that name. I thought Loudmouth Bass had potential. It didn't. Jay Kumar, I love you. It was awesome, but from there to move on, I remember it was at the Pittsburgh Classic that you won, Kevin. Jerry and Mike pulled me into a meeting, and that's where it started. That's where Bassmaster started for me. Bassmaster, it's funny, I looked at the weird placard of myself. I don't look like John Daly, guys. Even though that placard looks like John Daly, I don't look like John Daly, but that placard looks like John Daly. I partied with him, actually, at Big Cedar once with you, Kevin. That's true. It's a true story. Bassmaster has been a part of my life. It was so long before I worked there, but the opportunity and the group that I worked with from the writers, from Louis and Hall, I took pride in that. I still take pride in that. And even though I'm not going to sit in the seat anymore, or Bassmaster Live, I'm there. Bassmaster's my life. It's my family's life. And the production group from the house on 1200 Scott Street of JM Associates and Jerry. I remember Jerry walking through the studio and said, you can't say these things on TV. And Mike would be like, let him say it. Mike, I appreciate that. The production group of JM Associates, Mike nailed it. You're all the best. I can never on earth thank you enough. From my heart, I always said this, you were my Bill Belichick. I was a handful at work every now and then, just a month ago. No, really, I know I was. You've been an incredible business partner, a best friend, an awesome fishing partner. It was funny going through those pictures. I was like, damn, we're going to do a lot more of that from here on out. Tommy, thank you. Thank you. Mercer and Davey and Such, Ronnie, it's been awesome. Davey, I hate to say it, I pulled you in like 5 years ago just so I could exit 5 years ago until the jihad happened. I mean this when I say it. You never sat me down. You never sat me down and said, you need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. I've never been able, besides the scorpion that I'm married to, Karen, I've never been able, she is a scorpion. She's beautiful, but unpredictable. It's true, actually. You don't jack with that stuff. You have been incredible to sit next to and learn from, and I owe you so much, and I got news. I don't know how, where, we ain't done. I'm not. I mean, right now I am. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy the next. There's something else out there. But from there to Zona World and the crew that I've worked with in Zona World of Michael Middleton, McKinnis, Wes, Carrie. Carrie started. We used to say in some shitholes too, didn't we? It's a little better now. To everybody that works on Zona Show, of the animation department, of Bruce and Kevin and Breedlove, Wes and Carrie and Evie and Vandy. Where are you at, Vandy? You better behave tonight, number one. We're a tight-knit group. We're a tight-knit group. We're a small group that my biggest thing with having a fishing show outside of Bassmaster, and Bassmaster was the platform that I used. I think we bounced off of each other, but they helped build Zona Show into a fishing show that didn't look like anything that's ever been out there. And I appreciate all of you for that. The sponsors, Mercer says don't do this, Ram, Bass Pro Shops, Mercury, Rather Outdoors, Eagle Claw, I don't know where you're at, Jackson, Kilburn, where you at? Johnson Outdoors, Power Pole, TH Marine, Seagar, AFCO. They have supported me my entire career, supported my family. Other side of it is I know it's not easy to get here, and I know a lot of friends that aren't in the fishing industry came to this. It means a ton to me. I look at all the friends that are here, but looking at Zona Show, there's been the guests that I've had on there, from Seth. Where are you at, Seth? Yeah, that's right. You just standing there so you can go burn a marb. I'll be out there in a minute. I'll be out there. It doesn't count tonight, Karen. It doesn't count. Hackney, KVD, Ayler, Skeet, I know you've been on there. Aaron Martins has been on the show more than anybody on earth. But besides Bassmaster, JM Associates, Zona Crew, friends, my family is it. It's my existence. My mom is not here. I'd fish for like 40 or 50 days straight, and my dad would be like, hey, you actually need a job. And my mom would say to my dad, you leave him alone. Number one, thank you for listening to her. Thank you for listening to Mom. But my dad still doesn't think I have a real job, and I got news. You are absolutely spot on, dude. Bonnie is not here anymore, and it was funny, Van Dam and I were looking at this, and that's her writing on the back of it, and she always said, I don't care what you do, just try to do the best you can do. Just be the best at what you do. And I've tried to live up to that. And Dad, I mean this. Thank you for taking me trolling and fishing. And we sucked when we started. You still do. I mean, but you're you know, baby steps. It's been awesome. Dad gets a lot of free fishing stuff now. Hunter and Jacob, your girlfriends, I look up to you guys. I look up to you. You have grown into something I was not. I was a handful, right, at your age. Karen, stop it. You dated me. So you know. Karen, you're my best friend. You're the best human being I have ever known. And tonight is for you, but most of all, it's because of you. And I truly mean that. I don't know where I'd be without you. And I love you. I love you so much. And I owe you for being the Scorpion and the CEO and making critical decisions in the company that we run. And we have a lot of things to do, But most of all, every group that I just named, okay, I want to go back to all I wanted was those three bullies, those three kids, to understand that bass fishing's cool, okay? Every group that I just listed, Bassmaster, JM Associates, Zona crew, my friends, my family, you have helped me, Ramsey, you've helped me for the last 21 years show tens of millions of people how cool bass fishing is. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Kevin Van Dam to present Mark Zona with his plaque. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mark Zona and all your inductees here this evening. Incredible class we have in 2024. Of course, Alfred Williams, Fred Arbogast, Mike McKinnis, Mark Zona, Skeet Reese, all of you, very, very deserving. And thank you for making this sport, as Mark Zona said, all of you made this sport cool. And I don't care what anyone says, bass fishing is the greatest sport on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making this the biggest evening we've ever had at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. And get your calendars out. September 25th, is it next year? Get your phones out and put it in, because we're going to make it even bigger next year. September 25th, we'll be right back here at the Wonders of Wildlife. And before we shut this down, I need to bring Mercer up here one more time for a very awkward and long draw. But somebody's going to win something, and I'll see you guys at the after party.
All right, there we go. Dave Mercer, on behalf of everybody on the board of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, thank you so much for what you do for us. We appreciate it very much. And you know we do, Dave. All right, we're getting through this really, really quick. So, Pete Robbins, pull the first one. It's a package of Daiwa stuff, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to, even though I do work for the company, I'm not going to mention all their products, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. The winning number is 524028. 524028. There we go. The next one is a bunch of clothing from Mossy Oak. And all I can say is hope you're an XL. 411-1798. 411-1798. Mossy Oak stuff right here. Okay, then we're skipping this one. Bucket number 6. You like how we've done that? We're already up to bucket number 6. I don't know what happened to the rest of them. 411470. It's a Mustang Survival PDF. PFD. And that one. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, I did. Well, who? All right, somebody has to have this number. Look at your tickets. 411-1470. 411-170. Pete, there you go. Call another one. All right. Did some of you get it? You got the Mustang? All right. Yeah. Take it, James. All right, from our friends at Eagle Claw, Mike Jackson, thanks for being here this evening. There you go. Turn on that other mic for Kevin, would you please? Thank you. 411-460. So basically 1460. Blue ticket 1460. The Eagle Claw.
So real quick, all of this year's Hall of Fame inductees and all the past former Hall of Fame inductees, everybody wearing a blue jacket, if you can kind of make your way up to the front, we're going to get a group shot real quick with this year's class. So everybody, if you're wearing a blue jacket, you got to head to the front of the room.
I forgot that. All right, all blue jackets up to the front for a photo. Brad Wigman, you're up there, right, dude? Thanks, buddy. Okay, we're still drawing stuff. Pete, where are we? Pete, where are we, dude? Come on, let's go. We have more stuff from Mossy Oak, some clothing. And this is XL, so hopefully you're an XL. 4111807. 411-807. Pete, there you go. I don't know. Watch this. You want to watch some kids go nuts? All right, we got the Costa package. It's not sunglasses, but it's all their swag. And Costa makes some pretty cool swag, right? 524-029. 524-029. $524-029. What? What? Who? What? Which one? I'm calling out the Costa swag. 524-029. There you go. All right, we got another one from our friends at Northland Tackle. Whole bunch of stuff for smallmouth. 411-1725. So 411-1725. From our friends at Northland Tackle. Thanks for the support. Greg Wollner and the crew. No. All right, we have another Mustang Survival Inflatable Pro PFD. 4111736. 4111736. There you go. Well, look at that. He's a multi-winner. All right. We have a lot of support this year from the folks at Turtle Box. The Turtle Box speakers, they're sweet. I have one. They gave us a couple for the online auction. They gave us one for the our in-house, what do we call this thing? Anyhow, the winner is 4111759. 4111759. You got a minute. I'm pulling another one.
Again, we need to have all the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame inductees, past and present, up here to the stage for a group shot.
Is that the Turtle Box?
Sooner we get this done, the sooner we all can go to the D. Height Van Dam after party.
All right, I got one more.
Let's go!